Hi guys, my name is Josh Whitehead. I'm the district executive for Four Rivers District in Baltimore Area Council, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the Tiger Adventure floats and boats. So this is a little bit of a tough one. It's one that will require you to do a little bit of work on your own. So this one involves showing that you know how to swim, um, specifically how to enter the water safely, blow your breath out under the water, and do a prone glide. So those are things that you're going to have to either do at your own pool if you've got a pool in your backyard. You're going to have to do at a local community pool or at the YMCA, wherever you have to go to do that requirement. Um, it should be pretty straightforward. If you need help, make sure that you, no matter what, you always do this with buddy and you have adult supervision. So we're going to talk a little bit about the other requirements, but just make sure that you take care of that on your own. And again, we want to see videos of you guys doing those things. We want to see you guys sending in and participating, sending in your videos. So the other requirements, besides that one, everybody's got to take care of that one on their own. The other requirements for this one are, say, the Scout Water Safety Chant, which we'll get to. I've got a picture that we're going to put up, and then talk about why it's important to have a buddy, and then we will show a video of what a buddy check actually looks like at camp. The next one is show how to safely help someone who needs assistance in the water without getting in the water yourself. So that's a bit of a tricky one, but we've got this paracord rope that everybody should have gotten in the box that we're gonna go over a possible problem-solving game, as well as show you guys how to safely help someone in the water without getting in the water yourself. And then lastly, we're going to identify 5 different types of boats. So you'll be able to identify those different types of boats, and we'll put up pictures of each of them, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about the differences between them, and you'll be able to recognize those differences. So firstly, we're going to go a little bit out of order here. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the buddy system. So everybody should know about the buddy system already a little bit, but for those of you that don't know, the buddy system is one of scouting's core systems for keeping our youth safe, our kids that participate in scouting safe. So basically what it is every scout has a buddy. And buddy doesn't in this case necessarily mean friend. Your buddy can be your friend. But buddy basically means that this is the person that you're going to walk around with, the person that's going to walk with you to the shower house or the bathhouse at camp. This is the person that's going to stay with you when you're participating in water activities. Basically, the buddy system is intended to make sure that nobody wanders off by themselves. If there are 2 people going together, then one is always accountable for the other. So when you're with a buddy, it's not just walking together or swimming together. It's making sure that they're okay. It's your job to make sure that your buddy is accounted for, that they're around and they're safe, and that they're not walking off on their own. You're supposed to go with them if you're their buddy and make sure that someone's aware that you're going somewhere. So that's the buddy system. Buddy system is really, really important, especially in aquatic activities, water activities, because there's a lot that can go wrong in water activities. We want to make sure that everybody's safe. Everybody is okay when they're swimming. Some people might be stronger swimmers. Some people might be weaker swimmers. So we want to make sure that we're pairing buddies together that can help each other. So if you're a really strong swimmer, maybe you get paired with a weaker swimmer so that you can help them or be around and maybe give them some tips along the way. So that's the buddy system. The buddy game, how it works at camp, it's not really a game as much as something that happens at camp is, or even at gyms or local pools. You guys might have had this where the lifeguard will blow his whistle really loud and say, buddy check. And everybody has to get out of the pool together and stand on the sides holding their buddy's hand up. In some places, you don't get out of the water. You just have to go to your buddy and hold their hand up. And this way, anybody that's not holding someone's hand up, where's their buddy? What happened to their buddy? And this is the lifeguard's chance to sort of take stock of everybody and make sure that everybody's accounted for. It's also really important when you're out at camping functions that, especially at summer camps, when most of you guys and girls go to summer camp, you'll notice that there's a system. There's usually a buddy board where you have to take your swimmer tag and you're putting it next to your buddy's swimmer tag, and you can't just leave the pool and go back in whenever you want. You have to make sure that you and your buddy both leave, take your buddy tags with you, and go together. That way, with buddy tags, nobody is expecting you to be in the pool when you're actually outside because you moved your buddy tags and both of you are accounted for. So it's a really important system at camp specifically and for aquatic activities specifically. The buddy system also applies to any number of activities. You want to make sure that you have a buddy and you are responsible for your buddy in any activities that you guys do. So buddy system, and here's an example.
Buddy check, guys! Find your buddy and raise their hand. That was funny. All right, you guys. What's gonna happen now is yellow level swimmers and green level swimmers are gonna be allowed to get in the deep lake. Guys.
So next, we are going to talk about the Scout Water Safety Chant. So this is something that most of you may not have heard of. This is a part of the Cub Scout program that we want to make sure that everybody knows. So it's a chant. So I'm going to put up the picture here, and I want everybody to chant it at home. The Scout is 5 letters, and each letter of Scout stands for something in this water safety challenge. So I want you to look at it and chant it when you get a chance. So here is that. Great. So you guys know now that someone is watching. We need to make sure that someone is watching, either an adult or a lifeguard. We need to check the rules. If there is a pool list of rules on the outside of the gate or wherever, we want to make sure that we know all of the rules. We want to make sure that only buddies should go from the shore or from the pool. Buddies leave together, buddies enter together, and buddies are always together while participating in that aquatic activity. The you know what you can do. So it's important that you know the things that you can do to stay safe. You and your buddy, in this case. You want to make sure that you and your buddy know exactly what it is that you're supposed to be doing. After checking the rules, you know the rules, you know what you need to do in case something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, in most cases, the answer is get with your buddy, stand on the outside, and let the lifeguards do the hard work. If it's somebody that needs help, we're going to show you how to help somebody from out of the water without getting in the water yourself. But you should also know how to help people in water situations. And if you can't, it's important to get out of the way, get to safety yourself with your buddy if possible, and let the lifeguards and the adults help people. So knowing what you can do is really important. Don't think that you can do something. Don't think that you want to jump in and help, even though you might not be the strongest swimmer. The best thing that you can do if someone's in danger, if you're not the strongest swimmer, is go get out of the pool, get out of the water, and let the people, like the lifeguards, help. If they're not helping, it's your job to help. Somebody's got to help. So make sure that you do it safely and you know what you're doing. But in most cases, please, please, please let the lifeguards and the adults on duty help. Last thing, tell a grown-up if someone's in need. This is, again, saying the exact same thing. If someone is needing help, go to an adult, go to a lifeguard. So that's the Scout Water Safety Chant. it's important. Make sure that you know it, and make sure that your den mates know it. And your buddy's got to know it too. So the next thing is we're going to show how to help someone who needs assistance in the water without getting in the water ourselves. So there are a couple of things that we need to know. Couple of things. So the first thing is, if we are, let's say there's a pool, right, and it's 10 feet deep at its deepest point, and it's really shallow at its shallowest point. So the things that we can do, the things that we need to do right off the bat, is we need to assess whether or not someone is in danger. If someone is in danger, the best thing that you can do is point it out to an adult or lifeguard. But if they're not there to help, that's where this comes in. This is an example of something that we can use to save that person as a rescue tactic. There are a number of things at pools, such as lifeguard poles or lifeguard floats, that are used for rescue. In most of those cases, they involve getting in the water yourself. In some of cases that are not necessarily in pools, or in very extreme cases, you have to save that person without getting in the water yourself. So the long poles that you sometimes see at pools, those are designed to sort of put from the pool deck, reach out so that they can grab onto it and you can help them to the edge. Sometimes that is not something that we can do, though. So with water rescues, using paracord or any kind of rope, really, the thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a loop in one end, a big enough loop that they can get through or they can grab onto. And I personally would probably use a bowline knot or a bowline knot. I will teach you guys how to do that here in this video. But the next thing that you're going to do with this, I want everybody to sort of try this, is have your little brother or your big sister or your parent stand in a circle that they're not allowed to leave on the floor. So you're going to make sure that they stay there. They're in an enclosed circle. Use a hula hoop if you want on the floor, or you can tape a circle on the floor. And then you are going to make a separate area about 5 to 10 feet away. You're going to put a line that you're not allowed to cross. That you, as the person that's making this rope, aren't allowed to cross. So it's a fun little game that you're going to try at home. And you are going to basically, once you have that line, your goal is going to be to toss to them the end with the loop on it, so that they can catch it and hopefully put it around themselves or hold onto it super tight, and you're able to pull them in. That's how water rescues work. Before you do anything in a real rescue situation, you want to make sure that they are above water. If they are, then you can do one of these rescues. If they're underwater, chances are you're going to have to get in the water with them, or allow a lifeguard to get in the water to help them. And then also, you want to check the surroundings. Make sure it's safe. See if something fell onto them, or something like that. If it's a dangerous situation, you don't want to get in the water. Or if there's a current, or certain currents if you're out in open water or in the ocean, certain currents can be troublesome. So you're going to have to do something from the shore without getting in the water with them. So try that at home. We want to see your videos. We want to see you guys do that. I'm going to have a video right after this teaching you guys how to do a bowline knot. So here is that.
In this video, I'll be showing how to tie a bowline knot. What I'm first going to do is put a loop into this side of the line. Now, taking this end of the line, I'm going to go underneath and through this loop, and then around this side of the rope and back through the hole. That is our bowline knot. The easiest way to remember which direction to twist the loop into this line, and the fastest way to make this knot, is to take the end of the rope in 2 fingers, go over this line, and spin your fingers around. Now you'll have this line coming through the hole already, and this loop will be in the proper direction. You now just come around there and back through the hole.
You're in need. I'm here to save you. Oh. No, I didn't do it.
Wah, wah.
I need a weight at the end of this, I think. I'm coming to rescue you. Nice. All right, hold on to it. Get in the circle. I rescued you. Nice. That's how you do a water rescue.
That easy. Lastly, we're going to talk about different kinds of boats. We need to identify 5 different types of boats. So the list that I put together, and you guys can have other lists of boats if you want, but the 5 that we're going to talk about are rafts, rowboats, kayaks, canoes, and sailboats. So these are 5 different kinds of boats, and there are pretty distinct differences between all of them. So first is a raft. Now, a raft is usually a little bit constructed by you, or constructed by putting together logs or bamboo, or in some cases, emergency rafts off the side of other boats, blow-up rafts, inflatable rafts, things like that. Typically, this is just a flat bottom, does not have anything to help with steering necessarily, just a paddle. This is a very rudimentary boat, something not really designed for long term or for long travel. Rowboats are the next one. And rowboats are basically have a flat end on one side, which is where your back will be to, and the front end is the pointed end. And in some cases, you can do rowboats with more than one person, but typically rowboats have 2 oars that are attached to the sides with little clips that go into the side of the boats, and you pull both of the oars at the same time, or one to turn, the other to turn, both to go forward, or back by pushing out. So it's sort of a do-it-yourself. You're doing 2 separate oars is really the big difference. The next one is kayak. Kayaks are used for long treks because you have one paddle. It's got these fins on either side of the long paddle, and basically there are 2 different types of kayaks: sit on top kayaks and sit inside kayaks. Basically, the difference is preference. The difference between sit inside and sit on top, there's not a lot of difference other than you get a little bit more wet if you're sit on top sometimes. You can carry gear or sit inside the kayak. There are like usually chambers for waterproof chambers for your bag or whatever that is. In any case, you should probably put it in waterproof containers or waterproof bags just to make sure that water doesn't get in. But in kayaks, basically, it's one person or sometimes two. Tandem kayaks are a thing. You're going to basically be paddling like this because you've got one long paddle. So it's a lot of upper body strength, a lot of pushing yourself forward. So that's what a kayak is. And there are sea kayaks as well, where you can go out to open ocean and kayak for long periods of time. Kayaking is one of the more long-term types of boats. The next one is canoes. Canoes are basically the same as kayaks, but not necessarily as long-term. So you can do canoeing. Basically, it is a deeper sort of U going up, and usually there are two planks across, one in the front and one in the back, and these paddles are one-ended, so that it's got a handle at one end and the fin down here. And with canoes, each person, the one in the front and the one in the back, row together. You want to row side by side simultaneously, not really side by side, one's in the front, one's in the back, but you're going to row simultaneously. And this allows you to push forward a little bit more, the weight's distributed a little bit more. You can carry more in a canoe. You can carry 3 people or 4 people, though depending on the canoe, you may not want to carry that many people. And with canoes, unlike kayaks where you're sort of pushing yourself forward, you've got your own momentum, you've got your own power in the steering. With canoeing, it's much more a team activity because the person in the back kind of has a little bit more push on the speed of the vessel, and the person in the front kind of has the turning. So it's really important that you guys work together in canoe and that everybody is on the same page. So it does take a little bit of learning when trying out canoes for the first time. The last one is sailboats. So sailboats are just like they sound. They're boats with sails on them. There are a bunch of different kinds of sailboats. I'm not going to get into the different kinds of sailboats, but basically sailboats are, in most cases, for example, if you go to a summer camp, they have sunfish, and sunfish are basically 1 or 2 person sailboats that have a rudder in them. They have a big sail going up, and you want to catch the wind. The wind is the thing that is driving it forward. In some sailboats, bigger sailboats live in sailboats that people actually live in, that have cabins for living. In bigger sailboats, they often also have a motor. So it's not just the sail that's carrying you. If there's no wind, that can be a problem. So, or if the wind's not going in the direction that you want to go, it can be hard when doing those long voyages. So with bigger sailboats, they also have a motor. With smaller sailboats, if you're not going super far, they may not have a motor. They may just have the sail. And so with sailboats, you really have to know how to maneuver the sail and catch the wind at the best possible angle. Having it at a better angle, or having more wind pulling the sail at a certain angle, allows you to move faster, allows you to move in different directions. There's also, usually in sailboats, there's a bar in the back that you move, and when moving it, it allows you to turn. But in any case, in sailboats, anytime you do drastic turns, what's called the boom swings. The thing with the sail attached to it swings because it has to change directions to keep the wind in. So it's called the boom because very often people get boomed in the head with it because it swings so fast when you change directions. So when on a sailboat, you shout boom when you are changing directions, because that way everybody knows, oh, the boom is coming. I have to duck down or get out of the way because I don't want to get boomed in the head. So those are the different kinds of boats. I hope that you enjoyed. We would love to see your videos of you guys doing that water rescue activity with your parents or with your siblings, or even if you want to do it with an object, you can try and lasso that object with your bowline knot. And we would love to see that. We'd love to see you guys participating and doing these activities and sharing them with us. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being part of this Adventure Box activities, and I hope you enjoy the rest of them. And thanks for listening. See you guys in the next video.